Welcome to Everyday Seminary. I'm so excited that you signed up.
Welcome to the Leader School. I'm so excited that you made the decision to be a part of an academic environment that's going to grow you, challenge you, and make you the best leader you can be.
Hi, we're Jamal and Natasha Miller, the founders of The One University, and we are so excited to personally invite you to our 5-day Pray for Your Future Spouse Challenge.
What's up, everybody? I am super excited about tonight. Welcome to the Evolutionary Leadership Masterclass. My name is Jamal Hegwood, and I am a coach here at Leader School. And I have someone very special with me tonight that I'm going to be introducing to you guys. This is Alexis Lott, and she is a coach here at Leader School as well.
How are
you,
everybody?
Alexis?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm excited.
I'm stoked. Like, I really want to come out this seat, but we got to sit down. So yeah.
Listen, I'm so excited about tonight. Listen, this is our second Evolutionary Masterclass. The last one we did last year at the start of a pandemic.
Right.
And now we have another one. We still in it.
We still in the panorama. Yeah, we're still here.
How do you do two groundbreaking masterclasses during a pandemic?
You just do it.
I mean, this is crazy.
Yes.
We have over 30,000 people, over 30,000 people signed up for this masterclass. And so we're super excited that you all are a part of this masterclass. And one of the things that we want to do is we want to know where you're watching from. Where you're watching from. Now, I have the Facebook up here. I already saw some countries, okay? I saw the Bahamas. I saw Europe, okay? I saw a bunch of states. I think we almost are in almost every state.
Every state, about.
Now, you're from where?
Columbus, Georgia. Don't do that, Jamal.
Okay, now I only asked that because I see a Bainbridge, Georgia. Do you know?
No.
You know
I know where Bainbridge is.
Okay.
But I'm from Columbus.
Okay, I ain't never heard of Bainbridge, but Bainbridge is in the house.
Yes.
We got Sacramento here. You see some people on Zoom?
I see Monroe, North Carolina, the Bronx, New York. Hello from Baltimore. Oh, Connecticut, London, UK. Shout out to our cousins across the pond. Okay.
I'm seeing Savannah. We got Wichita. Listen, come on, Wichita.
Come on, Jersey, Red Bank, Jersey, Maryland. Oh my goodness.
San Antonio, Fort Bliss, Texas, Augusta. I know where Augusta is.
You know where Augusta is. Don't do that. Don't do that. All my Columbus, Georgia people, y'all need to just put the hashtags in there. Okay, put us in the chat because we representing. All right, don't do that.
Listen, if you're from Chicago, come on. If you're from Chicago, let me see you in the chat. I see a few people from Chicago. We gonna definitely make sure we shout out Chicago here. District of Columbia. I'm seeing a lot of the Bronx, New York loves Leader School.
New York is in here heavy.
New York loves Leader School. Nashville, Tennessee, North Carolina, Camp Springs, Maryland. You know what I love to try to see is I wonder if, or I wish we're gonna track this tonight. If we could see if we got all 50 states. I'm going to try my best to try and track this tonight because I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot of states. I think we might hit all 50.
Over.
I think we might hit all 50 states, but I know for sure we got multiple countries. We have multiple countries. St. Louis, Missouri. We got St. Petersburg. Well, listen, we're still reading these up. Douglas, Georgia. A lot of Georgia. Showing,
we represent.
Georgia
right up there with New York.
Georgia is showing that they are here. And they're here to say, now listen, we have a lot. Oh, Jamaica. Now, come on, Jamaica.
That's where my people are from.
I love me some Jamaica, okay? All right. But
you love Jamaica, the food.
The food.
Okay. All right. So yeah.
It's definitely the
moment
food.
of clarity.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But we see a lot of you guys from all these different places. But one thing that we also want to know is we want to know if there are any first timers in the house. If this is your first time at an Evolutionary Masterclass, we need to see you in the chat. So let us know. Just put first timer in the chat so we can shout you out. I'm literally going to read your name off. We're going to read your name off. We're going to shout you out, whether you're in the Zoom, whether you're in the Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. We're going to shout you out and see if you are a first timer, because there's a lot of people that weren't at the masterclass last year. Yeah, no, there are a lot of people that weren't there.
Yes. So we have, let's see, Janet, first timer, Delisha, first timer, Shelby, Christine. We have Yvette, Kasna, We have Renisha, Pastor James Austin. We have so many of you chiming in for the first time. I mean, you guys are blowing up this chat. I'm loving it, loving it. Miss Donna Cooper, Yesenia, Jewel, first timers. Read me some of your first timers.
On Facebook, we got Glenetta Robinson. We got David Jonathan Thompson, Willie Allen. Okay. We got Angel La, Shalonda Landrum. Okay. Listen, we have so many first timers. We want to say welcome to our first timer, Lorraine Darling. Welcome to our first timers. Now you were at the masterclass last year, correct?
Last year. And I have no words still. I really don't know what I'm going to say tonight for the post show because I think part of me still left in 2020 from the first masterclass. But yes, we need to shout out the people who are returning.
Because technically you're a returner, I'm a returner. So there's some of us who, last year was good, but we came and we double dip.
We got a double dip. We need a double portion.
Listen, we have to come back and get some more. So if you are a returner, if this is your second time getting the masterclass, you were at the masterclass last year, you said, I didn't get enough, I need some more. Definitely make sure you drop that in the chat that you are a returner. We want to shout some of you guys out too. Because listen, it ain't bad that you had to come back.
No, it's not. It's not like school where you have to repeat and it's a little shame there. Yeah, we let you repeat this here.
We enjoy when you repeat here at Evolutionary Masterclass because it's not every day that you get to sit at the feet for 3 days. For 3 days of someone like Dr. Matthew Stevenson. So I mean, it's actually pretty smart. It's pretty smart for you to come back and return. So if you're a returner, just go ahead and put returner in the chat. Put returning in the chat. Do we got some returners in?
So we have Denise Anderson says she's returning. Tammy Vault returning. We have Miranda Henry is returning. Zanab Cisse is returning. We have so many of our brothers and sisters from the motherland in Africa. Y'all come through. All right. We have some EDS grads in here. Listen, we have David. He says he's returning. Oh my gosh, Tiara Howard says she's returning. Oh, y'all, we have so many people here who's like, I had to come back for round 2.
And we got a lot of returners here on Facebook. I mean, they're blowing this chat up. We got Tiffany Davis, who's a returner. Lisa Hamilton returning. We got Lisa Peterson returning. We got Sharnetta Washington, Titus Ransom. We got Tawanda Holmes, Lewis Stokes. I mean, so many.
Wow.
Kimmery, I hope I said your name right. Kimmery Guy said returning, and she is ready for that double portion. We got All Marie Robinson returning, T. Algie returning, Shay Fears returning. Listen, what this is showing you, if you're a first timer, what this is showing you is that this masterclass is so good. You're going to want more.
You're going to want some more.
Listen, we're seeing it. We are seeing it with all of these returners that one, even though it's 3 days, it's 3 power pack days. It's just like one masterclass ain't enough.
No, it's not.
It's not enough.
It's not.
I definitely need more. Now, listen, we are excited that you're here. We love that you're here.
Yes.
We're happy that you're here.
We had 30,000.
We got 30,000 of y'all. But we know that it's some people in your family. It's some co-workers, it's some friends, it's some cousins, okay? It may be even some enemies, okay? That should be in this masterclass. We know that you know some people that should be in this masterclass, and we want to encourage you right now, before we get started, to share this masterclass. Share it, okay? Now, although, we're about to get started with night 1, it is still not too late for anybody to sign up. All right, so definitely share this masterclass. Now, how can we share? How can we share?
So we have a hashtag that we want you guys to remember, write it down, put it on your pen and paper. It's
right here on the screen.
Do whatever you need to do. So this hashtag is Evolutionary Leadership 2021.
Give it to him one more time.
Let's say that again.
Give it to him one more time.
It's hashtag Evolutionary Leadership 2021. All right. Now, we really need you to share this hashtag on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever it is that you are being social online, because here's why. We're watching you.
We are. We got our eyes on you.
And, this hashtag, we kind of encourage y'all when you sign up for the masterclass to go ahead and start sharing it. And so because of that, y'all have been asking. So the returners are probably like, man, we didn't get this. May be a little salty for what we about to say. Because guess what? We have some swag to give away.
Yes, we do.
We actually have an Evolutionary Masterclass apparel t-shirt. And we're going to let y'all see this deliciousness.
Listen, deliciousness is the word. Okay.
Yes.
I feel like Vanna.
Feel like Vanna White.
Listen, okay, look at this.
You see the shirt?
Look at this.
Do you
right
see the
here.
shirt?
Now this is good quality. I'm feeling it right now. This is good quality. This not gonna shrink in your washer and dryer. Okay, you gonna get a good wear out of this, a good couple wears. Now I say you need to frame it, because this is one of the first shirts we've ever done.
Yes. So you might need to hang this up like a Jordan jersey.
Like a Jordan jersey, okay?
On your wall.
Okay, but this is why we want you to use that hashtag, because we're gonna be watching. We're watching and we're gonna be seeing who's using that hashtag, and we're gonna randomly select some people to be chosen to possibly win one of these shirts.
Now, wait. I think we already have a winner.
I think we do. I actually think we do. I think that we have someone that we saw from earlier who posted these hashtags, and I think we chose somebody randomly.
Yes. So I think if Miss Tanya McIntosh, if you're watching, guess what? You just won your Evolutionary Masterclass t-shirt for sharing that hashtag.
Let's give it up for Tanya, okay? Tanya McIntosh, congratulations. You are actually the first winner. You the first winner. So
ever.
You getting one of them first, you right off the hotcakes. You getting one of them hotcake shirts, okay? They coming right off the presses straight to your house, okay? So listen, we want you to share this, okay? Share this. Use the hashtag. Let your family know, let your friends know, because we want to increase these numbers. We got over 30,000, but we know it's more people out there that need to be in this masterclass. So make sure that you are using that hashtag, not just so that you can get to your t-shirt, but also so that you can get some people involved here.
Right. Now, listen, we want you to make the very most out of this challenge, because these 3 days, y'all, this is unlike anything you will see going on the internet right now. And we want you to come prepared every single evening for the next 3 days to make the most out of this. So Jamal, what is like one of the first ways that our Evolutionary Masterclass community can make the most out of this challenge?
Here's thing number one. We want for you to come to the masterclass prepared, okay? Come ready. This ain't just, your little rinky-dink masterclass. This is like school. You're about to get some dense information, okay? So we want you to come prepared. So we want you to come prepared with your workbook. Get that thing printed out, okay? Go to Staples, go to Kinko's, use your good ink, okay?
Yes.
I know sometimes we be acting like we don't want to use up our ink. Well, I don't know why we got printers in there.
Don't use the ink.
Come on now. So use your ink.
This is the time for such a time as this. Use your good ink, okay?
Use your ink. So use your ink, get that workbook printed out. But listen, if you can't get it printed out, that's totally fine. You can also use the PDF version of the workbook and simply fill in as you go. But definitely use your masterclass workbook. Get you a notebook, get you a pen. One thing that I did last year was I had to make sure I was in a good space. So I went to my little office, and I was zoned in and I was ready to go, because I wanted to make sure that I was focused and that I was taking my notes and I was doing what I need to do. So get yourself ready and prepared. Don't be trying to do this with the kids all over the place. You got distractions.
You in the kitchen trying to cook dinner and everything else.
No.
Tell everybody they got to go.
Listen, and make sure you focus in. What's something else they can do, Alexa?
Another thing that you can do is you need to set your alarm every single night.
Every night.
For 6:30 Central Standard Time.
Give it to
now
them
listen,
one more time. Give it to
you
them
need
one
to
more
set
time.
your alarm every single night for the next 3 days for 6:30 Central Standard Time.
Okay. Every night is what? Central
Standard Time.
Okay.
6:30.
6:30.
All right. So set your alarm. And here's the thing, y'all, the pre-show is like really, 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 really dope. Mm-hmm. But we also want to make sure that after the masterclass, you don't just disappear. Come back for the post show.
Yeah.
Because the post show is where it all goes down. Yeah. And we might give away some else.
Yeah. And you don't want to miss that post show. You don't want to miss that post show, because you never know what you're going to get on that post show.
Right.
You never know what you're going to get on that post show. So you want to make sure you do that. Now, here's another thing that you can do to make sure you get the most out of this masterclass. This is new too.
Completely new.
This is new.
So for our returning folks,
we didn't do this last year. Listen,
we didn't do this.
We stepped our game up, okay? All right. Now, listen, this is new. So this year we have homework for you guys. Now I know some of y'all hear homework. Y'all like, Lord, gee.
It's just a trauma trigger. It's a buzzword.
Lord, homework. I can't do it. Yes, you can. Okay. Because this homework is to help you to get the most out of the information that you're being given tonight. Because, you know, a lot of times we can get stuff and it could be like information overload.
It can.
We just getting all kinds of information and we don't know what to do with it. Like we just we don't know.
I done took the notes and now I got to go home and decompress.
Exactly.
Or come out my room.
Right. So we want to help you guys out by giving you guys homework. Now the homework is not hard. Like it's not difficult, right? So it's going to be a couple of questions. We're going to go over that in the post show. So don't worry. That's another reason why you should stay for the post show.
Right.
All right.
Because we're going to go over your homework.
We're going to go over your homework. Going to help you guys out there, but make sure that you do your homework. Now, one of the things that's going to happen when you do your homework is as soon as you submit it, you are going to receive a badge. This badge is supposed to be posted in the Facebook group. It's kind of like that bragging rights badge of honor for you to be like, hey, I did my homework. I finished my homework for night one. And I showed not only myself, but I'm showing you all that leadership is necessary to me. The homework is a very important piece to kind of really show that you're showing yourself that this is necessary. This masterclass is necessary. Your leadership evolution is necessary. So that homework is a key piece. So make sure you stay around for the post show so you can get more information about how to do that.
Now, listen, last but not least, here's something that we really want you to do. Jamal already said not to do this alone, but we are really serious about this. So listen, we need you to connect with some people, tag them inside that Facebook group and say, y'all, every night we are doing this. Get you an accountability squad, okay? Get you some people that's really going to help you understand that this is the year where everything changes. This is the year where all the stuff I complained about in 2020, this is how we go and we start making steps towards change. So get you some friends and tag them every single night and be accountable.
Listen, and even if you find some people right here in the masterclass, definitely partner up with them. If you see somebody in the comment section, if you see somebody that's like, hey, I need a partner. Listen, if that's you, if you're like, hey, I need somebody that I might need to do this with, just drop in there. Hey, I need a partner. I need a partner. You know, definitely right now. You can do it right now. It does not take long, but you want to make sure that you're not doing this alone. Okay. So even if you're like, you know, I ain't really got no friends that will want to do this or any coworkers that want to do this, you have 30,000 people who are on the same page and who want to do the same thing. So even right now, if you want, I'm seeing you guys in the Facebook group. I need a partner. I mean, y'all are partnering up in the Facebook group as we speak. I love that. So make sure that you guys do that and make sure that you guys are keeping each other accountable, helping each other, pushing each other, and helping each other grow and evolve, because that is how you're going to get the most out of this masterclass. Listen, we gave them a lot.
It's been a lot.
We set them up to succeed.
I mean, just knock it out the park.
Listen, you can get the most out of this masterclass if you do those things. Now, this is the part. This right here.
Jamal,
I know this is something.
I'm a tink. I'm not even a tink salty. I'm a lot salty, like a bag of stale Lay's chips. Okay. You know how all the salt go down to the bottom. I'm really upset about this. I know, because I'm a returning, leader school and masterclass student. We didn't do this last year. And we did not do this last year. So this is part of the upgrade. This is. Okay. One of the things that we have implemented this year is called Leader Awards. At the very end of this 3-day masterclass, we're going to give away awards in 3 different categories. And I heard that these awards, though, they only for the apostolic. We got a couple apostolic things that we're giving away now. Yes. Okay. Now here's the thing. I almost want to try and get one of these awards. I might sneak, and they're sitting right over here. Listen, I might just want to sneak one out and go home, but I can't do that. Part of me is like, I might want to do a couple of things here to get one of these awards, because these nice. Okay, these nice. We here at Leader School, we give away nice things. Okay, but listen, this is something that we're doing that's new, and it's another way
for us to encourage you all to persevere through the entire 3 days. Okay. You know how sometimes we can get started and we can start off real well.
We get that momentum.
We start off real good and then it kind of wanes off and oh, I got busy the second day, or I forgot the second day, I forgot the third day. But this is something that we're doing to kind of encourage you all to really persevere through to that third day. So we really want you guys to do that. So we got 3 awards. As Alexis said, we got 3 awards. The first award is our class scribe. Our class scribe award. Now, this person is the person that takes the best notes. Okay. We know, Dr. Stevenson be spouting out information. He gives a lot of information.
That's going to drop is going to be wonderful.
They drop. But if you are a good note taker, we're encouraging you to take those notes. Now, all you have to do is simply post the notes in the Facebook group and we'll see them. So post the notes in the Facebook group for your family, for your community. Here's why. Because there are some people who might not take notes as good as you.
And life might happen to them.
They might have missed the night, and need those notes. So we want to, be a community and make sure that if you're good at taking notes, just drop those notes in the Facebook group. And we're going to be, as we said, we're watching. We're going to be watching. We're going to be looking for the person that has the best notes, the most detailed notes, the most creative notes. And if you do that consistently all 3 nights, you may have a chance to win that Class Scribe Award.
Yes. Now, the second award is the Neighbor Award.
Won't you
be my neighbor?
Won't you be my neighbor?
Like a good neighbor.
Who is there?
We're there.
Leader School is there.
Come okay. On. So listen, the Neighbor Award, we are watching to see who is the friendliest, responding in the comments, helping people feel welcome. Especially, we kind of got our eyes. It doesn't matter if you're a first timer or if you're returning, the playing field is even. Okay. We want to know, are you being a great neighbor? Are you going out of your way to make people feel welcome? We already know you're a leader. You wouldn't have been attracted to this if you're not a leader in some place in life. But we want to reward you for being someone who is friendly and accountable and loving inside of that Facebook group. So please be a good neighbor.
Be a good neighbor.
Because we're giving away an award.
Be supportive. Now listen, it's 30,000 of you. Like it's 30,000. And here's the thing. I'm gonna warn y'all. This first night, we're talking about the power of pain.
The power of pain.
If any night you gonna need support,
it's gonna be the night.
It's gonna be the night. Okay. We coming out the gate. We coming out the gate swinging. Okay. So if any night you are going to need support, it's tonight. So them friendly neighbors, you gonna get activated tonight. You gonna have to, a couple of us, we're gonna have to come in there like, y'all all right?
You okay?
Y'all good?
You breathing?
Y'all good after the night? Anybody need a mint or something? Anybody need some water? Cause we're coming out the gate hot. But here's the thing, that Neighbor Award is again about being supportive. It's about being communal. It's about fostering that community over these next 3 days. So that's very, very important. But then
last but not least,
we got our last award. But this award is the big one.
This is the big one. And this award is called the Rising Leader Award.
Yes, it is.
Okay. The Rising Leader Award is basically like how in high school where you got an award for being best all around. This person is like, okay, best all around. So you're a good neighbor. You are taking great notes. You're someone who is posting, sharing, liking. You're giving it your all. And we want to make sure that because you're giving it your all, you get the best award. And
now this rising leader, you could be the next Bill Gates. Okay, you could be the next Kamala Harris. You could be the next Michelle Obama, Barack Obama. Okay, you could be the next Oprah Winfrey. This rising leader is someone that shows us that they are willing to go above and beyond to show that leadership to them, growing in their leadership, evolving in their leadership is necessary. So we got our eyes out for this rising leader, because this rising leader shows that encompassing nature. They are not only taking notes and not only communal, but they are showing us that they are that this leadership evolution is necessary to them. It's important to them. So we're gonna be looking out now. Here's something I want to do. If you in the chat,
let
us know which awards you might be going after. Let us know which awards you might be going after. I want to see. I want to see, because a lot of y'all got y'all eyes open. Y'all ready for these awards. So let us know which award you might be going after. Oh, somebody already said it. Somebody said that Rising Leader. That's the one. Sterling Mooney. Sterling Mooney said that's the award I'm going after, that Rising Leader award. Listen, come on. Let us know which awards you might be going after.
Sylvia Kimbrough said she wants the Scribe Award. Okay, Sylvia. All right. So we have Shelly Horton. She says all of them. Okay, well, listen. You can only win one award. You can't win all of them at once, but the Rising Leader Award will encompass all of the above. Yes. So listen, we want you guys, come on, listen, and this is one of the big things we want to talk about with Rising Leader. Don't be afraid to share your story.
Absolutely.
And to let us know exactly how this is impacting you, because tonight is going to be phenomenal. Tomorrow is going to be phenomenal. Wednesday is going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
Don't hesitate to tell us how this is changing you, because we know that it will.
Yeah, I'm seeing here, we got on Facebook, we got Tanya McIntosh. She's going after that Good Neighbor Award. We got Klashia. She says she wants all of them. Andrea says she's going after the Scribe. Shanta wants the Good Neighbor. She said that she loves to uplift and motivate people. We're going to be looking out for you.
Yes.
Leona, the Rising Leadership Award. Denise says she wants that Scribe Award. Listen, this is something that we want you guys to keep in mind. But again, this is also to encourage you to continue to persevere through those 3 days. Now let's talk about how important that is, though, Alexis, because this 3 days, it's packed with so much information. You do not want to just after one night be like, okay, I got what I needed. No, like these 3 days are number one, he hit you from so many different angles.
Well, that's the thing. Y'all listen, please make sure you come back to the post show, because here's the thing. We are going through this with you.
Yes.
All right. So I might not have much to say after, because I might just be in my brain somewhere, just contemplating on life. I might need to call a therapist or something. So y'all, these 3 days, they build on top of one another. We want you guys to stay the entire time and know that everything you've been given, top of the line, is valuable, because you are important to us.
Yes.
It's not about us. We love you, and we want to see our world and our communities really be shaped by better leadership.
Yes.
And we know how important it is, especially right now and how we're living.
Absolutely. And this is going to be something that I can guarantee you are never going to forget. Now, y'all saw in the comment section, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're on Facebook, on YouTube, you guys saw just how many returning people we had. And that is because of the impact that this masterclass has on people. It leaves a mark, like we both were there last year. So, and we still can't get enough of it. That's why we're so excited about tonight, because we know that it's simply going to build on. So if you're a first timer, we really would listen. I need my returners to kind of help encourage my first timers on how important it is to stay for that 3 days. It is necessary that you keep coming back. So not only come back to that post show, but do as we said earlier in setting those alarms and making sure that you put it on your calendar, you set that time aside, because you want to make sure that this is important to you and that you are showing yourself and everybody around you that this is a necessity, because each night, again, is unique. Each night has a different angle, a different flair. Each night he's hitting something different. So you do not want for it to look like or feel like, I got enough.
I'm full. But listen, this is where you bring out your good pen.
Yes.
Your good pens that you hide from everybody else in the house, the ones that kind of go missing sometimes. Yeah, get your good pens out, your notebook, or you can type it in. Y'all, come prepared, come ready, come expecting. Like, come and bring your friends. This is the kind of stuff you tell people about. You don't hide this kind of stuff and keep it to yourself.
No.
Now, Jamal, I'm still stuck at the awards and all those different things. I really wanted one. But
I just remember something too.
What?
We ain't just giving these awards just to give them.
No.
It's a little something attached to it. That's really nice though.
What is it, Jamal?
So the first two people, the first two of the awards, okay, you get a little something put in your ears. Okay, help you hear a little better. Okay, last time I checked it was little AirPods.
Yeah,
little AirPods.
AirPods.
And then for the big one,
the Rising Leader Award. You don't have to write on paper no more, because you get to write on the iPad.
You ain't got to worry about no notebook and pen, but you get to write on the iPad. So again, let's go ahead and let's make sure that we are on that, that we're looking for those awards, and that we're giving our best in this master class. Every single day, we're giving it our all. We're taking those notes. We're doing the things we need to do to get the most out of this challenge, and we are ready to take it to the next level. Okay, who's excited?
I'm excited.
I'm excited. Let us know in that chat if you're excited.
Yes, if you're excited. Now listen, we need to drop this hashtag one more time. So that we can say it again, so that you guys will know. Make sure you use this on every single thing you post. All right. So it's going to be hashtag Evolutionary Leadership 2021. All right.
Yes, that is Evolutionary Leadership 2021. Now it's about that time. I hope you are ready for tonight. We're ready for tonight. Listen, if you're ready for tonight, just drop some fire emojis in the chat. Let us know that you are ready, because it is time for the power of pain.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jamal Miller, and I'm the CEO of Miller Media Group. And it's with extreme honor that I am so excited for you to be here tonight for the Evolutionary Leadership Masterclass. Our company, Miller Media Group, we believe in one thing, and that is transforming lives from the inside out. And that is what's about to happen to you over the next 3 days. Prepare for your life to be transformed. It's been such an incredible journey, taking our company from being a company that started off with one brand to now growing to more than 3 brands that is literally changing the world. But what's exciting about that is how all of this came about. And that's what I'm really excited to be able to do tonight, is to introduce Dr. Matthew Stevenson. See, Dr. Matthew Stevenson is not just a featured expert / incredible communicator / genius leader. He's a person that means a lot to my life, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for him. It was more than 16 years ago that I sent an email to him after reading an article that he wrote. And this article, y'all, like when I tell you, it was perfect timing. Have you ever had in your life where something just came right on time? Well, this article came right on time for me, and I sent him an email thanking him for the article, and he emailed back. And because he emailed back, this started a relationship between him and I that began to blossom into something that I thank God for every single day. He began to walk with me through various seasons of my life. And this now resulted in us having a relationship that I would say was so perfectly on time. But here's the thing that he was able to do, from walking me through dating, walking me through marriage, walking me through college, walking me through the birth of my daughters, walking me through the launch of this company, is that he gave me language for my purpose. I want you to put that in the chat room, because that's a very important word for the next 3 days for you. Language. Language is a bridge that takes people from one place to the next. And one of the things that we're missing today, a lot of us, is the language for what's going on within us and what's going on around us in order for us to go to where we're supposed to go next. Over the next 3 days, Dr. Matthew Stevenson is one of the most incredible communicators, and the ability to set language that can pull out of you, activate what is supposed to happen in your life. I want you to get ready, because what you're about to experience is something that many wish they could have in their life, but you decided, you said yes. I don't want you to just get ready to learn. I want you to get ready to be changed. Dr. Matthew Stevenson, for the last 20 years, has built multiple organizations because of his leadership and his visionary ability to see a thing be before it even happens. That's what you're about to come into over the next 3 days. You're going to be activated to be able to see what is possible, to see what can happen in your life. Not only is he a man that has the ability to communicate vision, he has the ability to break it down and make it relatable to those that hear him. I have watched him preach messages and communicate to audiences of so many different varieties. This is a skill set that many don't possess, but he has it. But most importantly, I've watched him live a life laid down, not only to those he serves, but to his family. I've watched him behind the scenes be a man dedicated to his wife and to his children. You're about to learn from a man who truly lives out his purpose every single day. And most importantly, he's a man that has not stopped growing. That's what you need to see tonight. A person who is committed to evolving. And that's what he's about to impart into you tonight, is the ability to continue to change, to grow, and to not allow anybody to stop you from making it into the fullness of your purpose. This is what evolutionary leadership is all about. It's about you evolving and changing into the person you were born to be. I'm so excited because the next person you're about to hear is a man that's going to take you into your next, because what you're about to experience is necessary. You're going to be hearing that word a lot because it's important for you to understand that what you're about to go through is necessary. What you've been through was necessary for your future. I want you to get ready. I know we're not in a room, but there's more than 30,000 of you that have signed up for this masterclass. So I want you to put on your virtual clap. I want you to go crazy in the chat room. Do what you got to do, because get ready. You're about to experience night one, the power of pain, evolutionary leadership masterclass from Dr. Matthew Stevenson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Matthew Stevenson, the founder of the Leader School, and I am so excited to begin this journey with you that we started about a year ago, where I took on a brand new life assignment to groom and to grow and to serve as an academic source and a mentorship source for as many leaders as I could. In thinking about my contributions to the world and what they would be, I decided that one of the things that I want to do for the rest of my life is to groom leaders, thinkers, those that can craft and shape the future. The future is going to become somebody else's history, and I think that history is a massive part of how everything in life is shaped and framed. So before I go any further, I'd like to congratulate you, number one, for doing something that is absolutely bodacious and brave. It's gargantuan in nature. It's mammoth in size. You took yourself seriously. And what you did was you made the decision for 3 days to commit to you and what you know and where you're going, what you see, how you hear, how you remember. I want to start this by saying it is vitally important that you prioritize these next 3 days. I don't want you to just come on and just commit to tonight. I'd like you to make sure that you set the time aside for the next 3 days, because all of life is about development. And development and training are two different conversations. It doesn't just have to do with the information. It also has to do with the environment, the questions you get to ask and ruminate on and consider. So these next 3 days are absolutely quintessential to everything you intend to achieve in life. I'd like to just debunk a couple of things, and then I'm going to do a pseudo introduction, and then we're going to do some real work tonight. So let's go. First of all, you are in this master class, irrespective of whatever strata you're from, whatever segment of the world you're from, whatever career lane you're from, you're here because you're not satisfied. Now, I've learned myself and my skill set enough to know who I impact the most. And one of the people I know that I impact the most are those that are discontent, and not necessarily in a traumatic or troubling way, but in a way that keeps them motivated to continue to reach. They are like lifelong pursuers of information and possibility. I impact those that love to push the borders and the boundaries of what is, and to create the possibilities of what could be, because that's what future generations are relying on. Whether they are in political sectors or business sectors or entertainment sectors, it doesn't matter. If you are here, I am absolutely certain that you're not satisfied with your current level. Welcome. Congratulations. You've taken the first step, which is owning, admitting, and assessing where you are. And a lot of leadership is going to be about assessment. It has to do with the accurate gathering of information so that we can make next steps and take responsibilities. And you would be shocked, or maybe you wouldn't, to know how many leaders are deathly afraid of assessment. And so my job is to provide room for safe, accurate, reliable measurement. Because if you want movement, we've got to start with measurement. It's a dangerous thing to try to move what you've not measured. And so we're going to allow for an environment for these next 3 days for you to measure your relational, academic, leadership depth, to try to see how to deploy you to achieve some of the greatest things you've ever desired in your life. Listen, I'm not one to toot my own horn, but you're about to sit in front of over 40,000 combined hours of study in the areas of education, philosophy, history, leadership. And over the last almost 2 decades, I've had the privilege of journeying with NBA players, NFL players, politicians, mayors, actors, artists, rappers, all kinds of people from all kinds of walks of life. And the thing that I'm finding about them alongside myself is we all speak a language that we don't know that we speak. I'm a little bilingual in the sense that I flirted around with the Spanish language. I've had the privilege of traveling to way over 20 countries, and I've spoken there and done academic work there. I also have a background as a former educational professional in both the private and public sector. But even with speaking different languages, hearing different languages, being exposed to different dialogue and dialect, I notice that no matter who I meet, no matter where they come from, no matter their gender or their belief system, it doesn't matter their socioeconomic status, I learned something that's absolutely paramount to our conversation tonight. Every person on every continent, of every ethnicity, of every gender, of every economic class, of every skill set, they know how to speak pain. The challenge with that is everybody that speaks it doesn't know how to hear it. And when we're dealing with the subject of leadership, we're dealing with an ever-evolving conversation of what's necessary for now. If you're paying attention to what I'm saying, it's absolutely critical that you write that as the first principle of your own study. Leadership has nothing to do with the current role you play, but more so what you know and what you're willing to do about what's needful now. If you think about that, everybody does not know what to do now. And if nothing has taught us this, it's been this last gruesome season that we've all been through, not just in America, in the world, because we were all one citizen. We were like a global family over the last 12 months. And we started our leadership philosophy by teaching that everything rises and falls on leadership. And we found it to be true. We found it to be absolutely provable that when things go awry and when things go unpredictable, that there's a need to look toward people willing to take leadership. So again, whether you're a wife, a mom, a single parent, a rapper, an entertainer, a poet, an artist, a ministry, whether you are a pastor, a church leader, a civic leader, a not-for-profit leader, whether you have a program, whether you have a product, all of this is for you because you need to do some internal upgrading to your hard wiring to make sure you can handle what leadership brings to every life. Let's do some work. When we're dealing with the subject of leadership theory and leadership philosophy, it is critical that you understand that this is not one conversation. One of the things that I try to avoid in my leadership meditation is the thought of emphatics. What I mean is that there are some abstract concepts and there are some broad concepts. It really depends on the audience and the intent and the thing you desire to build and or be a part of. And so when you're thinking about how you feel about leadership and how leadership works in your life, the first thing that you're going to realize is cookie cutter systems never work. They've not worked in ages. And now we have a very important opportunity to reevaluate what we believe about the cookie cutter approach to leadership. You can buy a book here, a book there, take a class here, take a class there. And what you're going to realize is one of them will be missing something as it pertains to your particular scene or setting or circumstance or scenario. One of them will be missing something. So we start with this thought that leadership is a big discussion. It's ever evolving. There is no one right or wrong way to do it. Now, you can be criminal and you can be abusive and you can also be incompetent. But leadership as a philosophy and leadership as an approach is a vastly developing conversation that changes and evolves and grows with the time. Here's a caveat. If the subject matter of leadership is changing, and it is and will, and growing and evolving, but you're not, then we're not going to be able to make sure that we have a supply and demand system for leaders that can be readily available for every problem in life. You see, wherever there is a problem, there is a purpose assigned to it. But purpose is manifest on the premise, the background, the origin of a leader that has increased their pain tolerance. Now, I know some of you watching may say, well, that's a really gruesome way to start a discussion in a masterclass on leadership, but you've got to understand the Stevenson thought of leadership. And I don't think leadership begins with where you are. No, I don't even think leadership begins with where you want to go. And there's a lot of theorists that believe that you start the leadership discussion strictly and solely on where you are. The problem with where you are is it is the sum total of where you've been, whether you know it or not. You today, what you know, what you have, what you see, the way you hear, the way you relate, the way you interface, the way you understand, the way you behave, the way you show up and or not. It comes from somewhere. Being able to trace and track the events, the phenomena that help to scope your responses, your reactions, your recovery, your memory is vitally important to being able to handle any seat that you sit in. Now, whether you're the CEO or not, or the COO, if you're the support staff member, if you are what many organizations would consider hand and feet, you are a part of a team and that gives you responsibility. And you know, my theory is wherever there is responsibility, there is leadership. And even if you're not leading others, you also have the responsibility of leading yourself in that task, in that role, in that expectation, in that anticipation. So we've got to have a very transparent and a very vulnerable talk about pain, because here's what a lot of leadership theorists do not tell you. Leadership can be fun. Leadership can be long. Leadership is necessary, but leadership can be painful. I'm not just talking about the current role you serve in. I'm talking about what's going to be necessary to happen in and around your character, your thought life, your behavior, your conversation that's going to show up in your particular leadership style. Now, again, we could go for hours with talking about leadership variation and leadership style. But what we will talk years about is the impact of leadership on your life, on your relationships, on your exclusive tendencies and proclivities. That sets you apart. There is a huge discussion right now about uniqueness. Everybody in these particular seasons, they're cultivating their uniqueness. I applaud it. They're developing it. They're deepening it. They're investing in it. And those are amazing attributes and traits. But we want to also have a discussion about what it took to be unique. what it took to like your uniqueness, what it took for you to not reject what the others rejected about you. Now, you may not think that this has anything to do with your leadership style, but it absolutely does, because nobody runs into the reality that they are unlike what is without getting that initial whiplash that brings you into internalizing and assessing and measuring. When we're dealing with the subject of leadership, we're dealing with origins. Write that down. That means that leadership has a beginning place, origins, leadership origins. What I mean by that is there was a moment, an event, a circumstance, an opportunity, a conversation where you realize, I think I have it within me to lead. Or I think I have it in me to take responsibility for myself and broader issues, items, or people. Or I think I have it in myself to influence, to convince, to persuade. The moment you had that epiphany or that realization, that became a leadership origin. Now, don't just go to the beginning of your career, mentally speaking. Go to your young self. Go to the environment where you realize you handled life a little different from your siblings or your environment. I'm going to give you and press you a little deeper. All of us on this journey to evolutionary leadership, and that's what this is about, is being able to grow and develop as a leader and becoming what's necessary for now. You're going to realize that when you start to assess your leadership origins, you had an invisible opponent. You don't know it. You've not thought about it. Many of you have not studied it. But depending upon who you are, where you are, what was made available to you, what the circumstances were around your development, your most powerful opponent was a statistic. The likelihoods that were working against your ability to be resilient, dedicated, disciplined, and focused. We are in a easily distracted society, but what happens if your immediate, your native environment is distracting as well? Generally speaking, people are groomed and grown to think that motivation is the key to success. And while to some degree, I think that you do need moments of motivation, but what are you going to do when the excitement ends? And what will you have within you that keeps you doing what you need to do until the feelings catch up? All of this has to do with the Plateau survey in your life and your pain tolerance. So we're talking about the power of this because, as I mentioned before, all people speak the language of pain. There are already over 30,000 people watching me tonight, and I am thoroughly convinced that whether you want us to know it or not, we all know you've been through something painful. And even if it's not your own pain, you've observed other human beings undergo, walk through, navigate through painful moments. And sometimes the most painful moments are those that you can't get a hold of and control. It's called painful circumstance. What I've learned, though, is that there is a such thing in my leadership thought and theory, again, irrespective of who you are, called purposeful pain. Now, I do believe that there are people that can be unhealthily programmed by painful experiences. And whether you're going to admit it or not, if you do not directly confront or delve into painful moments and experiences, it doesn't go anywhere. What it does is it conceals itself in your personality. And then your personality shows up in a leadership responsibility and or opportunity. And here's the problem. Because you didn't learn how to speak pain or hear pain, what's going to happen is you're going to transfer it. That's what leadership is. It's about the transferring of influence, goal, thought, objective. I like to use the phrase tapestry because all of us are a beautiful individualized strand of a broader picture that means more than us. And leadership is about being able to mentally and emotionally, and for some of us spiritually, travel to the end of a thing, imagine it, envision it, and then be able to trace your steps back to figure out what needs to be done to get to the end. And once we're at the end, how can I use whatever that end point and goal is to make momentum? All right. I don't believe that momentum just happens by spontaneous combustion. I believe you can create it, but you can only create it when you understand needful steps, necessary decisions and calls. So you, me, us, we were all born with a cultural, sociological, anthropological statistic. We were born probably in one, but we were also born against one. It doesn't matter if you are a woman, if you're an African American, if you're a Hispanic American, it doesn't matter what's happening. I'm certain there was a statistic fighting you, your development, the likelihood is that you would not make the grades you should make or make the marks you should make, or familial likelihoods. I often say that the household is the very first classroom of every leader. It doesn't matter where they're going. Your first teachers don't begin in daycare or preschool. They begin either by deliberate intention or accidentally with how you're groomed. So what happens when that initial environment is fractured? Now, I realize you want to hurry up and talk about vision casting and team development. But before we get all the way over there, what you and I need to realize and sober ourselves about is we run the risk of losing all of your genius, all of your ingenuity, all of your courage, all of your bravery, all of that at the expense of a painful moment. So when I'm teaching leaders and grooming leaders and growing leaders in any environment, I love to be able to talk about pain and painful experiences. And that can be very difficult for accomplishers and achievers to do, because achievement and accomplishment is a deceptive medicine from painful experiences. Achievement and accomplishment is a deceptive medicine from painful experiences. You could get as many degrees as you want. You could marry, buy a home, start a company. That's not going to do anything to remedy maybe a life malady that is there and sneakily creeping into the way you approach leadership. All right. Pain impacts all of us very differently. But depending upon how you serve and what your level of influence is, it can become very dangerous to continue to pursue opportunity without pursuing restoration in your life. Now, what I love about this is that as we're dealing with pain, and I'm going to share some things about how I did it, but what I love about this is an option. It is a choice. You don't have to live and act as if the painful things that happen to you are behind you and so there's nothing you can do about it. No, it's within your power to decide to remove the impact of painful experiences, whether it's a death or betrayal, or whether it's the absentee of a loved one, or whether it's bullying, or whether it's growing up in extreme poverty, whether it's being hated, or whether it's not being able to make a critical social connection or in relationship, whether it's a love, whatever the issue is, you have it within your power to decide to recover. This is an important leadership quality and trait. One of the things that I tell people all the time, if I'm consulting or if I'm teaching or when I had the opportunity to lecture in universities about leadership, one of the things that I often challenge before I get into the skill depth and how fast you type and how well you speak and present, I want to know how resilient you are. Emotional resilience and recovery. It means everything to your leadership ability, because you could be the best speaker and you could be the best team lead and you could cast the best vision. You could be so empathetic and altruistic, and you could have within you the ability to relate to anybody or work a room and network. But when trauma happens, which is definite for all leaders because you are front line on everything you do, you're going to run into a blow that if you've not developed recovery technique and skill, then what's going to happen is it doesn't matter how much money you invested in those degrees, how much coaching you've invested in, who was your mentor or who groomed you. If you cannot recover, you cannot produce. And leadership is about production, what I can produce and what I can enable and afford for other people around me to produce. And so if producing is one of the very vast goals of leadership, we've got to talk about the conversation that leads up to it, which is the reason I can produce and build and program and plot is because I've done something with my pain tolerance. And I know you're looking at me today very polished and very well put together, if I may say so myself. but the real truth is I'm you. I'm everybody watching me. There's not a person watching me right now that I can't relate to, because again, we speak pain. And the funny thing about it is we didn't have to take a class in pain to speak it. We didn't have to take a certification program to speak it. None of us have taken a universal book that shows what to do with pain. There are also those of you watching me that are phenomenal leaders that was born into pain, circumstances that are beyond and beneath your control, broken homes, disappearing acts from family members. All of that matters to you. Over my life and over my career, I've had several seasons of extreme pain. And what I did not know, nobody ever taught me this, which is why this concept is called evolutionary leadership, is because I found out a trend. In my studies and in my development of this theory, one of the things I realized is pain precedes a brand new level of influence. I'm going to repeat that because I want that to be one of the areas that you focus on tonight. Pain precedes an increase in influence. If for whatever reason you are scheduled, designed for, preparing for, being positioned and pivoted for a brand new area of influence, something painful is probably going to precede that. You may say, well, that's not universally true. I guarantee you, look at your life, where you've been in your career, opportunities and moments that you've had to reach people, to influence people, to help people change the way that they think, or any of the moments that you've had. It was probably preceded by something that included pain. Now, you may not be calling it pain. You might be calling it pressure, but pressure can be painful, particularly when you've underestimated your ability to stand under what comes with responsibility. The social impact of it. That's number one. Number two, the inevitable, consistent annual sacrifices you have to continue to make in order to be what you need to be, both for yourself and for those that you serve. And those are very uncomfortable ways to live, but you have to do that. I have a theory called pain trajectory. What that means is, if my thought is true and premise is the origin where most leadership is born, then the next thing I've got to consider, and this is going to be paramount to your notes, is this. If pain is a premise and has an origin, it also has to have a trajectory. If pain is a premise and an origin, it also has to have a trajectory. What that means is, in casual conversation, in deliberate conversation, I should be able to look at somebody's painful story, painful experience, and forecast and or prognosticate where they're going. You see, because pain is the cavity where all potential begins. It's not just about head knowledge. Some of the most brilliant leaders in the world right now don't have a name, a blue check, or a brand, because they're still trying to navigate out of the murky, overwhelming waters of pain. And because of their pain, they've not committed to their potential. And because they've not committed to their potential, they can't be as useful as they could be to other people. So we have to unbraid and unpack this thing, the premise of leadership. Now, the reason this is important in my thought and in my research on the subject of leadership, from Fortune 500 companies down to faith-based communities, down to athletes and all of those, the reason why this is where I like to start is because this is our insurance plan. For a leader, I can dump hours of information on you, hours of certifications on you. I can create opportunities for you to show off and show how fanciful you can be, and how your command of the English language is so broad, and how you do verbal velocity and just impress all the ears in the room and all of that. But when something happens at your core, at your fundament, at your premise, we lose all of that. What am I telling you? We are going to go bankrupt and lose all the everything that you are if we don't deal with this. In conceptualizing this, consider why in the last 15 years, major companies, stores, athletic companies, they're investing in mental and emotional health, probably millions of dollars, because they're starting to realize that there is a connection between talent and pain tolerance, ability and pain tolerance, production and pain tolerance. And so if in fact life is going to happen to you, around you, then what we're going to have to do is pre-decide a series of skills internally that's going to make us get endurance and longevity in the skills we develop, if that makes sense to you, in the brilliance we develop. We want our resumes to be the best out there. We want to be able to man our house and our homes down. Even if I've decided that I'm not going to go into quote unquote corporate America or work, I'm just going to be the best parent I can be. Listen, you have the most premier leadership opportunity that crafts any society. Societies are formed not by the entertainment and the information, it's formed by the parents. And the most powerful place in America is the dinner table, but it's vacated right now for many of us, often because of pain. That's ignored. Now, another misconception about pain is this: just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it's not there. I grew up in a primary African-American community with extreme poverty, the Inglewood community in Chicago. And I grew up in severe extremities around gang banging, drugs and murder. And it's only by grace that I was able to navigate my way through a civil statistic jungle that by the likelihood of it, that I should have either been dead and or in jail. There's no way that I should be standing teaching as an anomaly to what was going on in those days around the neighborhood that I grew up with, the family statistics that I grew up with in. In those days, African-American men were not necessarily praised or celebrated or groomed appropriately, either in the school environment or otherwise. So competing and running and racing against that was a huge thing. Being a part of the hood and growing up in those settings, one of the things that every young man has to do is learn to fight. I know that's funny and doesn't seem like leadership to you, but I want you to know now, even before we navigate into these next 2 days, leadership demands a fight. You will have to be aggressive about something, focused on something, decided about something. You're going to have to wake up, and maybe you're not fighting an enemy that's external. There will be days when you wake up and don't want to go to work and don't want to make sure that people understand your vision and so there's going to be a fight. And the worst fights are internal. The point I'm making to you is this: I've had several physical fights in my life. And luckily, because of my physical frame, I was able to win most of them. If not for anything, it's because I could run. So if the fight got gruesome, I was able to move and navigate my way in such a way where if the opponent or the opposing force was stronger than me or bigger than me, and in most cases they were, I could run and make them out of breath. I remember one particular fight in front of my grandmother's porch, which is who raised me, with this guy who was abnormally sizable for his age. I mean, we were in the same grade, and so I don't understand how I was put in this David Goliath situation. And boy, something happened where I felt this adrenaline rise up, and I got to swinging. I mean, I did my very best to go and fight, and I knew that if I gave up and let up, all he needed was one chance to knock the wind out of me. If he knocked the wind out of me, it was over. And in those days, I grew up with parents who definitely believed if you don't win this fight, you're going to get beat when you go home. So it was either get beat in the fight or get beat when you go home. And you wanted to just make the best choice. I chose to try to beat the fight. I fought. And luckily, I was able to hit a critical area where the opponent, who was sizable again, fell down. Problem was, after the adrenaline left, I got home and didn't realize I had scrapes, bruises, scars, things that I didn't feel in the fight. This is you. You've had some fights that for excitement's sake, adrenaline's sake, popular sake, you don't realize that there's a scar or a bruise or an impact. And maybe it's showing up in your professional life, your inability to finish a degree or to commit to a program, or maybe it's showing up in your romantic life or your mentoring career. Maybe you won't allow yourself to undergo an apprenticeship with a master or somebody who knows more than you because of how relationships wound you. You see, all of this interfaces. All of this is connected. I want to know how many of you have spent real time thinking about the pain that doesn't hurt anymore, because that's the misnomer. We think that if it's painful, I've got to feel it. But some of the most dangerous pains are the ones you can't feel. Boy, when I got home, I didn't realize I needed some green rubbing alcohol to recover so that I wouldn't be able to be fractured. There's several moments that I could think of. There was the pain of uniqueness in my life. In Chicago, I was one of the final students that was considered for what they used to call in those days a double. I used to advance in my scholastic life. And so at sixth grade, I was scoring junior high school reading scores. And so there were people throwing money at me from everywhere. And, you know, Catholic schools were like, bring them over here. One of the highest schools in Chicago came looking for me, like, you've got to get out of this school and come over here and study with us. And obviously it produced behavioral problems because I could get done with the work so easy that after that, I would try to occupy myself with that. Now you're laughing, but it's not funny. Because what I just told you was I started my leadership and learning journey in severe isolation. Severe isolation. Literally fighting against an urban, citywide, national, historic statistic. And now being targeted, not just by those that wanted the best for me, but those that didn't understand what was in me. You go from there, you grow up. You know, my father was a military man. I was raised primarily by my grandmother. My mother was in the home. But you have all of the situations that come with living on the block through gang traffic and through gang journeys. And then, you know, you start to make early decisions. Listen to what I'm telling you. You hear that lightly, but even early decisions can be painful ones, because you have to realize that making early decisions is not a popular thing. And whether you realize it or not, many people are groomed as they're growing up with a subconscious desire for popularity. And here's why. We see popularity as acceptance. Boy, were we wrong. Many of the most popular people in the world are also rejected either by their society or by their audience. And so unfortunately, the way we treat the subject of popularity, which is not leadership, the way we treat it is, you know, we groom kids and we groom people to, you know, be what is and have what is support you and stand around you. It's a dangerous way to groom anybody, because what you've taught them to do is despise their difference and to learn to abhor what sets them apart. I remember one of the most intense, perhaps the most intense seasons in my life. My wife and I have had the privilege to start over 18 organizations and counting. We're doing a whole lot in the realm of business and civic life and all of that. But I'll never forget the most critical year of my life. I had the privilege of navigating through school pretty quickly. When I got married, my wife was in a doctorate program. She was pursuing a doctorate in physical therapy. And she was so gracious to me. We decided that because of how we wanted our family life to go and what we wanted for our future, that she was going to stay at home and pursue her education later, and then I would pursue mine. And so I went through school, 3 degrees, no breaks. I think I may have had a week or two in between every degree program I had. And it was by the motivation and the encouragement of my wife. I married very young. And when I married, we were pregnant pretty soon after that. I'll never forget the trauma of trying, the trauma of trying. There is a trauma related, not just to just success and achievement and accomplishment and notoriety. There's a trauma for those of us who didn't even know to try. Have you ever thought about what it takes to do what nobody before you did? Have you ever really conceptualized what happens to you when you're the first in a family environment or in a neighborhood environment to break a mold and to break a barrier of achievement? There's no such thing as applaud or support or understanding, because you're venturing out, you're roaming out into a space that is unknown. And whether you are going to acknowledge, I know you're strong and competent and beautiful and capable and powerful, but underneath there may be something there that has impacted your ability to be celebrated healthily, or may has created an unhealthy and unrealistic addiction or desire to an inconsistent, unreliable applause. It's not, flattery has no room in leadership. It's support that you need. But support can only come when you are able to embrace yourself. It was the year 2009. I will never forget it. I am the middle child of 4 siblings. I have an elder brother. I'm the middle guy. I have a baby brother, and I have a beautiful baby sister. And I'll never forget that there were some things going on in my life. I was under the most pressure I'd ever been in my life. At that time, it was financial pressure. It was relational pressure, because I didn't know what being a husband was and how to do it and how to be it. Our family didn't really have a whole lot of healthy models for marriage, much less the concept of family. And so I am pioneering this principle of commitment and fidelity in the context of our home. I was under the most pressure I'd ever been under in my life, financially speaking. By the time we were headed into, I think, our second or third year of marriage, I was paying out of pocket for my postgraduate degree in educational leadership with an emphasis in curriculum development. And I was paying out of pocket for that. And one of the necessary parts of that degree program, listen to what I'm about to teach you, was that I had to work professionally. So it wasn't just a research-based degree. You had to research and you had to work. You had to work and you had to research. So I was working a full-time job, a husband, and all of this was uncharted territory. What I just explained to you, there is a pain that comes with having to divide yourself among so many roles. I know you're ambidextrous. You have it within you to juggle more than one thing at more than one time. But are we going to talk about the pain, the needful pain that comes with having to learn to be balanced? You have a psychological breaking point. You have an emotional breaking point. You have things that can be triggered or scratched at that may make you drop it all. And the danger of dropping it all is this: you run into discouragement. And I hate discouragement because it stops you from trying again. So I was in a season of the try. Let me try to maintain a 4.0 GPA. Let me try to make necessary relationships with mentors and coaches that can help me navigate through this degree, which in my context back then in 2009, 2010, I was less than 2% of Black men in America trying to find and pursue doctorates and postgraduate programs. Now, in the middle of all of this trying, what do you hear under there? There is self-doubt, self-measurement, there is stress, there is confusion, there is indecisiveness. And all of a sudden, the worst season of my life came in the middle of me trying. Dr. Stevenson, what were you trying? Life, achievement, trying my place in the world, trying love, trying relationship, trying husbandry, trying to be a father. And all of those tries have a trauma associated with them. Because what they don't tell you is when you try, even though it may or may not have been an attempt, you can either pass or fail or grow. And depending upon what your lens is on life, some people just fail and make mistakes and they choose to stop growing and they choose to stop evolving. But it matters where you come from, but it doesn't matter where you come from. My world was flipped upside down in the midst of one of the most critical seasons of my life. At this time, I'm working in both public and private sector in education. I'm going full time to school to pursue what I think was a very, very, very complex degree. And I'll never forget that my world changed literally overnight. What I'm telling you is life can happen overnight. And as a leader, you have the right to have life happen to you, but you have to handle life differently. There's too much connected to what you know and where you're going and what you have to offer the world to let life determine the leverage that you have on it. You have to grab it differently from everybody else. In this season of my life, I'll never forget the day I got the phone call. My father, at that time in my life, was like my best friend. I'm named after him. I'm the third. He was junior. And he would normally, when he was not at war and not traveling, he would normally stop in, sometimes with my granddad, other times by himself, and just pop up in the middle of the night. He was so spontaneous and so affectionate. And he would pop up and pick me up out the bed and just talk to me about my achievements. And he would mock my trophies and all of the things I was doing. He was planning to come to my graduation dinner. This was the apex, the zenith of my celebration. Now, mind you, this is me coming from seasons of certain types of abuse and certain types of exposure to certain things and certain types of navigating. And I'm finally at a place where I think things are stabilizing out. And what I notice is life happened to me overnight. My father was planning to come to Chicago to celebrate my graduation. We'd book an entire winery, and we were just going to go and celebrate this breathtaking achievement of a young African-American man who beat the odds, who recovered from all kinds of things that were against him, statistically speaking. And I remember the morning that this happened to me. My phone kept ringing. I talked to my father on September the 3rd, very early in the morning, something about those military men that like to meet the sun. And I remember I didn't answer the phone call. The next day, I got consecutive phone calls from him, and I thought, yo, this has to be him calling to ask me for directions for this weekend and to how to get down here. So not taking the moment seriously and not realizing what was about to happen to me, I answered the phone, coal in my eye, sun barely up, and all of a sudden I hear my aunt with the worst scream I'd ever heard in my life. It was blood curdling. Now, I hadn't stopped responsibility. I'm pastoring and teaching and traveling and father and husband and student and all of and contractor. This scream changed my life. And she screams at me and she says, your daddy is dead. And immediately, like most of us that go through painful things, the first place I went for safety was denial. No, this isn't happening. I just talked to him. No, there's a misunderstanding. No, he's fine. There's something happened. And once it hit me that this was actually something that was happening to me, I learned something about pain that you need to know. I learned something about life that you need to know is that sudden death confronts life. I in about 30 minutes, was not just thinking about the gruesome loss of my best friend. I was not just sitting there imagining that my father's body was maimed on a floor as a very decorated military veteran. I was not just impacted by the fact that on the murder scene, my face was on the computer because he had just got through bragging about what I had did and who I was to the guy that shot him. I was looking at life. My father's death made me look at life. All death makes you look at life. In the same way that pain should make you look at purpose, death makes you look at life. I am sitting here literally in the fact, now I have to be celebrated alone. I've got to endure the insurmountable, unpredictable, aggressive, harsh, bizarre, unfair process of grief. Because what grief does is pushes a man or a woman to their extreme limits. And people are relying on me. A wife is relying on me. Oh, I neglected to mention that just before this event, my wife was pregnant with my baby boy. What man does not anticipate and celebrate the arrival of an heir, someone that's going to continue the story? You are the progenitor of a historic narrative for your bloodline, and you got these goals and these ambitions that you're going to instill in your son. That should be every man's pride and joy. I got a call, another call. Here is what I'm trying to prepare you to do. You don't know what your cell phone is going to bring to you, what your email is going to bring to you. You have no clue what your friend is going to tell you, what your mother is going to admit to you. You don't know. My job is to groom you as a leader to prepare for that phone call, prepare for that email, prepare for that you weren't prepared for. The doctors call me. My wife, at this point, she'd been on documentary. She's a brilliant woman, and she had become very well known for developing Alzheimer's research. And it was a very powerful project. It was a grant-funded program in one of the most successful hospitals in our city. And so I was very proud of her career and where she was going in the subject matter of research. And she was pregnant with my baby boy, my pride and joy. And at this point, we had an older daughter, and it wasn't too very soon after that we were pregnant again. And I got a call. I'm going to reenact the call to you. This is not even weeks apart, the most devastating year of my life. Here's the call. Hello. Hi. Is this Dr. Stevenson? Yeah, absolutely. How may I help you? Your wife is in Dubuque, Iowa, and there's been a horrible accident. I'm sorry, excuse me? Yeah, your wife. She's been in an awful accident. And I'm afraid if you don't get to Dubuque, Iowa quick, not only will you lose your wife from bleeding out, you're going to lose your son as well, because there's been a placenta abruption and we're trying to save both of those lives. The wind leaves me. The breath leaves me. Because now I didn't prepare. This is not an event. You don't plan for this. You don't think about this. Most leaders have to lead through this. I didn't know how to do it. There was no leader school masterclass or a sparring partner or somebody I could reach to and help them to help me know what to do with my responsibilities when I'm in excruciating pain. I go through the next several weeks with trying to make sure that my wife would live and that my son would live. And circumstance would have it that after a few aggressive procedures, they would have to just put her on bed rest to see what happened. Right after that, my father was brutally murdered. After not having broke one bone in all of his wars, Desert Storm, Afghanistan, China, Baghdad, and all of these, Korea, he was murdered at a barbecue, Labor Day, with somebody that rode to the barbecue with him. Over an argument that spanned from Michael Jordan to President Obama. An argument. Him, of course, thinking that he wasn't in danger, he starts to do what any man does, show his son off. But I'll never forget the image in my mind that came when I heard about the murder scene. That my face was in the search picture and he was on the floor. I had to, in short, try to find out a way to eulogize my best friend. Unfair circumstances would occur and I didn't get to make it. I know you heard me right, to the funeral. There were malicious things that happened around my ability and my siblings' ability to properly mourn my father's death. And what that taught me was funerals give some form of closure. And so it got elongated years. The next year, the very same day, Matthew Sr. looks at the clock. The same day that my father was murdered, Matthew Sr. looks at the clock and decides he's going to die. I think it was a decision. He couldn't stand the thought of not living with his son alive. So on September the 4th, he looks at the clock, closes his eyes in death, and never wakes up again. Not only is it sad, it puts me, a leader, a husband, a father, a student, a pastor, an adjunct at that point, going in and out, a consultant, all of these responsibilities that can't wait right now, or so I thought, to live through what would now be at least 8 to 9 years of looking over my shoulder on September the 4th, because after all, I'm the third. What I'm trying to teach you is the more you intend to accomplish in life and the more you intend to do, it's not going to stop life. In your organizations, people are going to hurt you, turn on you. In your family, you're going to have uncomfortable conversations. You're going to have disappointments. You're going to save money for things at work or not. You're going to get disappointing grades. The list goes on and on and on. But if you are entering into the subject of leadership, get ready to hurt. It's going to happen sometime. And so that's not what we're afraid of, because that's a powerful thing. But what we need to do is examine the pain trajectory. I can look at you and talk to you and take you out and determine the trajectory of your potential influence by how well you've hurt. That if your bounce back game is strong, if your resilience is where it needs to be, if you've done things within your power to make sure that you don't make critical or crucial life or personality changes just because something hurt. Now, I know I may not know your pain. The people watching with you may not know your pain, but we all have it. I guarantee you there's purpose there. And if there's purpose there, we've got a platform for real leadership. I'll close with this thought. If you don't understand the power of pain, yours and other people's, then you lose the most important weapon you and I have in evolutionary leadership: authenticity. If you're not authentic, you're not reliable.
you're going to max out in who you are and how you can offer the world around you. Let's deal with pain, speak to pain, learn to hear it, and we'll bring the best out of our purpose and the people that are around us. Now, don't forget you have some homework to do. It may be uncomfortable, but I'm pushing you to do the uncomfortable thing. If you think that leadership is about your comfort, you're in the wrong conversation, because you're either going to have courage or you're going to have comfort, but the two will never be able to coexist. Do this homework and start to open up your mind, not just to relive, but to rethink and to find the places in your particular life that can impact your skill and your resume if it happens again. Do your homework, P squared, and I'll see you soon.
Wow. Wow. This is, I mean, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Listen, tonight was just mind blowing.
What do you say?
From the information, the nuggets, to the vulnerability, to the storytelling, there was so much that was given in night one. How are you feeling right now, Alexis?
How do I feel?
Yes.
I don't know how I feel, okay? Because I'm struggling bad, all right? I have so many different things, like,
Yeah.
now things that you kind of think about casually, but now it's like, wow, like I really have to pay attention to this.
Yeah, there's language put to those casual thoughts that you may have. What would you say is something that maybe like one or two things that you took away from tonight?
Man, the trauma of trying. I don't know about anybody else.
Baby. That one there.
Oh my goodness, the trauma of trying, the trauma of putting yourself out there to pursue something,
right,
and to go after something, and to know, okay, I'm trying to be a wife, like I'm trying to be this, I'm trying to be that,
entrepreneur
and business owner, all those things, and nobody really talks you through how hard it is to just try.
Yeah, there's a real trauma in putting yourself out there.
Right.
And I think prior to tonight, we really didn't have the
language to know what that is.
Right. Yeah. So it's like we try, and it's like, why do I feel this way? Like, why am I scared to try again? And you don't know it's because you have trauma associated with that try. So that was great. For me, it was when he said, if you can't recover, you can't produce. That I was just like, okay, all right. Because I feel like there's so many things that we don't recover from.
Right.
And I feel like that kind of speaks to our lack of production in life. You know? It's like, man, if you're struggling to produce in an area, maybe you need to look at some things you haven't recovered from.
Correct. Or that start again, stop again, start again, stop again.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there was so much. Listen, I know y'all got some gems and some nuggets. If you could just go ahead and put those in the comment section. If you got some gems, like what are some one-liners from tonight that really kind of resonated with you? I mean, another thing is the amount of vulnerability, the story with his dad and then
family,
his wife and his son,
and then trying to pursue educational
aspirations in the midst of all of that.
Yes.
Like what we, that vulnerability spoke a lot to me. So there was so much, but we want you to remember that tonight was not just you getting a teaching, but there's also homework for you as well. We want you to make sure that you get the most out of your homework. And so as promised, we're going to be going through this homework with you and for you, because we want to make sure that we give you guys everything you need to be able to succeed. So the homework for tonight is P2. It's turning that pain into purpose.
Pain to purpose.
And you guys can actually go to the website that's being shown. It's being shown on the screen. And you can make sure that you submit the homework there. But when you go to the website, you're going to see some very specific questions. Okay. So I'll read the first one and then I'll let you read the second one here. So the first question is, what's the one thing in your life that was painful, but has now become fuel for your purpose? I think that's a great thought question to really get you thinking, you know, like what's one thing that, you know, in the moment it was painful, it hurt, but then it turned into fuel. And I think sometimes if we're not prompted to think about it, we would never know.
Or we keep repeating the same story over and over again, not realizing that it actually changed us for the better.
For sure. And then we got that second question there.
So number 2, so this is the second part of your homework. You ready? Reflect on 2 instances, one personal and one professional, that you went through that was painful. What power do you now have as a result of having overcome those painful instances? All right. Yep. So one personal, one professional. Reflect on 2 real life examples that you went through. I could name the professional one off the top.
Listen, and I think it's going to be interesting for people to see the differences in the professional and the personal. You know, I think you said something earlier about, you know, even in that personal, what are some things I may have done myself?
Ooh.
You know, I don't even know. Like there's some things that I may have done to myself, to me, that could have caused it. So that's where you go to that website, you go to that page, you answer those 2 questions, but literally below, all you do is you put your name, and then you put your email address, and then you submit your answers right there in that box. You type your answers out right there in that box to those 2 questions, and then you hit submit, and there you go.
That's it. Well, listen, right after you submit that homework, there is a badge that's going to pop up.
Yes, there is.
And just like how you started the masterclass journey, you will be able to continue every single night with a new badge that shows that you completed your homework. And we want to see you. So download that badge, you know, put it in photo grid or however you want to put it, you know, on your phone, your collage, and let us know I did my homework. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes. And we want to see that in the group. And remember to use the hashtag Evolutionary Leadership 2021.
Love it. And then we also, you know, we told you guys to be talking. We told you guys to be, you know, conversating here and letting us know what you think. And so we actually were able to pull a couple of comments. Now, we told y'all it pays to be active in the groups. All right. It pays to be active. We told y'all we watch it. And so we actually were able to pull a couple of comments, and we want to shout these people out, and we want to read off their comments because I feel like we kind of resonated with, you know.
I like I said, we right here in it with you. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So what's our first one, Jamal?
We got Sharonda Davis. And Sharonda says, she said, "Oh Lord, this is going to be awesome. It's a masterclass / therapy session for me. This is so what I've been dealing with concerning me and growth. God is awesome. I so need this for deeper understanding." Listen, this was definitely a masterclass therapy session. I mean,
you might have to call your therapist after and be like, look, somebody got stirred, Dr. Stevenson got stirred up some stuff that I ain't dealt with yet.
I know we said this was a masterclass, but he came out and was swinging deep. I mean, was swinging and it was just crazy. So Sharonda, shout out to you for commenting and for being vulnerable in that moment and letting us know how you felt. Who else do we have?
So we have our second commenter, Felicia Williams. So Felicia says, pain has moved me into the best and worst parts of my life.
Wow.
Pain drove me to drugs. Pain also drove me to God.
Wow. I mean, that is powerful. You know what? I can't even stay that long because that just blessed me right there. I mean, listen, that is the essence of tonight. The power of pain. It's very powerful, and it works in both ways. I think we learned that tonight, and Felicia just embodied that with that comment. Is that, you know, pain, you know, in one instance and in one place of her life probably drove her to one of the worst things she's ever had to experience.
Right.
But in another season, it drove her to one of her, you know, best things as well. So the power of pain, we learned that tonight.
You know, Jamal, I think sometimes we forget about the power, though, in a positive sense. Like sometimes we can get so focused and locked in on all the bad, but what Felicia said is it drove her to some good too.
Absolutely.
And we want to celebrate that and celebrate your wins and your victories. So we went over the homework, and Jamal, you know, I think we should give away another gift.
You think we should?
Yes.
Because we told them that we would be watching.
Yes.
We did. We told them that we'd be watching, and we told them that we would be paying attention to their activity and them using the hashtag and things of that nature.
Yes.
And I think we do. I think we do.
You think
I think we
you
do
we should
need to
give away something else?
Yeah,
So-
go ahead and let the special person know.
Okay, so Byron Poindexter.
Come on, Byron.
Come on, Byron.
I will not do the annoying.
Don't do it.
I know he probably gets.
I know
that a
he
lot
probably when
since
that
the
movie came out, he probably
yes,
that's
yes.
just like what Kanye West said, couldn't afford a car, but his name without Alexa. He would just say that to me, and I'd be like,
Let's-
why?
Let's
But
give y'all
Byron,
one more look.
let's
One more
come
look
on,
at
come
this
on,
here.
y'all. We're gonna be celebrating people all week
And
as we
again,
go through this masterclass.
This is that good thread, okay?
This is your shirt.
This is good. And so this is what you have the opportunity to win. So you want to make sure that you are using that hashtag. Evolutionary Leadership 2021. You want to make sure you're using that hashtag because again, each night we're going to be choosing winners and you have a chance to win this lovely t-shirt. Okay.
All right. Congratulations, Byron. We look forward to talking to you about your prize.
Love it. Now, again, if you are in the comment section, we're still checking these comments and we want to know what is something that you took away from tonight? Because we know we took some stuff away. We know we were blessed by tonight. But again, give us those one-liners. What were some things that you guys took away from tonight? Renee Brown says this. She says that she took away that pain precedes new levels of influence.
That was
her
really
favorite.
good.
Yeah, that's what she said. This is very true. And I just love that point because that when he said that, I was like, that makes so much sense.
It does.
You cannot have a new level of
Another
influence
level.
and not expect some sort of pain. Then we have Israel Pace. Their favorite point was achievement and accomplishments are a deceptive medicine for pain. Man,
What do you say?
I don't know. I really don't. Like these were some amazing one-liners. Do you see anyone?
Yes. So I see Ronika White in our Zoom chat. She says, if pain is a premise and has an origin, it reveals a trajectory. So, girl, my Lord,
Yes.
that was one of the most powerful things that I took away from it too. And let's see, Joyce Stevens, don't just pursue opportunity, but pursue restoration.
Wow, I love this. I'm just seeing this from Kathy Seaborn. She says, I haven't had the courage of speaking my pain, but tonight I am encouraged to try again. That is why we do this. That's why we do this masterclass. That's why we do these amazing events and webinars and have these conversations, is because there are a lot of people who are going through, especially
Right now,
year
the
just
last
had,
few years that we have had.
and to hear people be encouraged and get that infusion of hope
Yes.
from these nights. It is amazing. So Kathy, listen, more props to you. And we're glad that you are encouraged to try again, because that trying has trauma, but it's good that you are willing to try again. So that is amazing.
Well, listen, Ivy Springer, she said, pain, if not dealt with, shows up in your personality. That was one of the ones that I was just like, oh my goodness. Because, it's interesting when you go into a work environment, corporate, our homework is encouraging us to talk about some of our career pain. But it's one of those things where when you run into somebody with a personality that kind of rubs you the wrong way, instead of thinking about, oh, they just make me upset, now think about, I wonder if they have unprocessed pain.
Right.
I wonder if they have truly dealt with all the things in their life they need to deal with to make them a better leader.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You guys are sharing so many good
You guys
nuggets.
really are. Gwendolyn Baker says her powerful takeaway was leadership demands a fight, and the worst ones are often internal. That was such a key point. Like leadership requires a certain level of fight. it requires a certain level of fight. And here's why, we want you guys to be hearing these different comments and these different, conversations, because we want you to see that this masterclass is impacting lives.
Yes.
This is not simply something that we're doing for the sake of doing it, but we are in the business of impacting lives.
Yes.
We want for you all to know that this information is impacting every area of your life. And then here's the thing. We have so many nuggets. That's why we're reading these off as well.
Yes.
From night one.
This is just night one.
This is just night one. Like they're dropping in. There's so many nuggets and so many people who are being encouraged from night one. So just imagine if you come back for night two, and then you stay for night three. It's going to continue to build and build and build. This is necessary for your future. This is necessary for your growth as a leader. This is necessary for you. All right. And so that's why, we're emphasizing tonight these stories, and we're emphasizing these comments of what impacted people, because it's necessary. It's important.
It is. And don't forget, we still want to remind you that, yes, this is night one. We have night two coming up. We have night three, but we are still looking for our scribe.
Yes,
We're still looking for our neighbor. We are still looking for our rising leader. So make sure that we're serious about giving here. And we are serious about giving you gifts to reward you for your faithfulness and how much you interact, because we want to know that you're bringing people, that you're sharing, that you're hashtagging, and that you are doing whatever's necessary to help other people heal too.
Yes, we are absolutely looking out for those people. So tonight, our team is going to be looking through the Facebook group, and we're going to be looking and seeing, who's posting those notes, who's, encouraging other people, who's helping other people. And we're going to be keeping our eye out for that. We also want to remind our winners from tonight. If you won tonight, we want to remind you to email sloan@millermediagroup.co. sloan@millermediagroup.co. And that first name is spelled SLOANE. So if you won tonight, if you won that t-shirt, we want you to make sure that you email sloan@millermediagroup.co, not .com.co, so that we can get you your information and get you your nice, wonderful leadership masterclass shirt. Okay. But listen, tonight was still, like I said, it was mind-blowing, mind-boggling. I don't even know, what more to I don't even know if there's words to continue to explain what tonight did. But I think that this set the foundation.
It did.
Yeah, it set the foundation.
A wonderful foundation for the rest of the week. And I definitely, I remember just being a part of the crowd. You were a coach last year.
Mhm.
I was a student.
Yeah.
And I remember what it was like to be a student on the other side of that screen, hungry for more, and to finally have someone speak about the different levels and layers of issues that I didn't even realize I was going through or that were still there.
Mhm.
And then areas where I had failed to celebrate myself. And so for doing the right things in leadership,
Right.
Because leadership starts at home, it starts with you. So from that student perspective, I completely understand what it's like to just be sitting and for the first time hear all of this, and you feel almost overwhelmed. Like you're like, whoa, like this was a lot to take in. Like Dr. Matthew Stevenson is like a fire hose. You just got to get in where you fit and just download as much as possible. So my goodness, it's been so much. So from a perspective of a coach Jamal, what do you, or even just Jamal the person, how does this impact and land on you?
No, I love seeing nights like this when I see the epiphany for people. Like I remember, what it felt like for me. And so when I'm able to see other people have that aha moment of, man, this is okay. This is why I'm here. This is why, I'm leading. This is why I'm in this organization or in this position. When I'm able to see people have that aha moment, it's so beautiful, because then you start to see a new level of courage, a new level of passion, a new level of realization of this is my meaning, my purpose, my destiny, why I'm here. And I think what we see is we see people who are more confident in being able to go after things in life. So for me, nights like this are so important because they really give me the opportunity to see people flourish. Like reading through these comments I'm probably gonna go back home and read through them some more, because reading through these comments really helped me to see, like, man, people are benefiting from this information.
Right.
They're benefiting from this content. They're benefiting from this pour. And if that's you, if you're like, hey, I'm benefiting from this, I just need you to drop like a 100 emoji or say, that's me.
Yes.
Because we love to see that you're benefiting from this. And if that's you, then you need to share this. You need to let somebody know. Use that hashtag. Use that hashtag. People can still sign up, okay? It is never too late during these next 3 days. It is never too late for someone to sign up to be a part of this masterclass, okay? So if you know somebody after night 1 where you're like, I know somebody that needs this information.
Right.
I know somebody that needs to hear this. Then you need to let them know. You need to let them know to go and sign up for this masterclass so they can be a part of day 2, they can be a part of day 3, and they can get and sit under this information, because it is definitely necessary. Also, and don't forget that we will have a replay too.
Yes, there's so many people asking about, will there be a replay? Will there be a replay? Yes.
Yes, there will.
Yes.
Yes. So even if you're sending this to people, and you're like, hey, sign up for this masterclass, don't worry about it. They'll be able to catch night 1. They'll be able to catch the replay and get up to speed on night 1 and ready for night 2. So send this to people tonight. If you got a sister, a brother, a cousin, a coworker, somebody from your church, somebody from your job, whatever the case may be, send this to them and tell them to sign up ASAP so that they can catch the replay and they can prepare themselves for night 2. And they can be ready for what else we have to offer. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to make you tired.
Listen, I'm so excited because night 1 just put me up here.
It really did. Like I'm sitting here like, it put you up here and it made you excited. But for me, I'm just like, oh my gosh. It turns the searchlight on and it makes you start really looking at yourself and make you think. So I'm just over here like, man, I have all these different places where, for those of us who are in the return from last year, I still need to work on. Yeah. Like there's still work that needs to be done. You don't just get a pass. So it's like, oh, I went through it one time. No, this is something you can keep feasting on, honestly, forever. Absolutely. Absolutely. So please do not forget that you guys have your homework tonight. Don't forget that you guys have your homework, okay? So we went over those 2 questions that you answered. You simply go to the website and you answer those 2 questions. Everything is right there on that same page, okay? So you put your name in, you put your email address, and then you submit your answers right there. You can either type them right in or you can copy and paste them in from somewhere else, and then you click submit. Once you click submit, you get your badge. That badge is very important because that badge is how you let us know that you did your homework. Right. We'll be looking out for those badges too when it comes to people with those awards. You know, we like seeing those badges. So if you did your homework, that might be a couple points. You know, that might be a couple points in your favor. Oh, it's definitely. Yes. It's a couple points in your favor. Do your homework in regards to you getting considered for those awards. So don't forget, we have those 3 different awards, okay, that we'll also be looking for as well. So don't forget those things. We are super excited. That homework link is below. And listen, tomorrow night, we will be right back here for our pre-show at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, make sure that you are here at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for night 2. Listen, we love you guys so much. We're gonna be watching you guys in that Facebook group. I'm excited for tomorrow. How about you? I'm ready. I'm already there. Yeah, listen, I'm in the future. To the future. We are there. I'm sitting there ready. Yes. Well, listen, you guys have a great night. Night 1 of Evolutionary Masterclass was amazing. Night 2 is going to be even better. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.